Welcome to New Light Living Podcast. I'm Ulrika Sullivan. I'm an intuitive spiritual life coach and a galactic astrologer. This video is a galactic astrology reading of the new moon in Scorpio at 20 degrees and 44 minutes on November 13th, 2023. So welcome. What I do in these videos, I put an outer layer of fixed stars, celestial bodies, and galactic points to the traditional Western tropical astrology wheel. And that is to help us to start connecting to fixed stars, the cosmos, a multidimensional perspective. And many of us are feeling strongly at this time that we want to start to relate multidimensionally. And so this reading is for you if you are someone that's curious about what more there is to relate to, and also what are my soul memories, my galactic heritage. Many of us are getting very curious about that. And are you curious about your own galactic astrology and your own alignments to fixed stars, celestial bodies, and galactic points? Download my Galactic Alignments Reference Guide. There's a link in the description box for you to download it. What I do in these videos, I pull out 3 key energetic themes that I see are key to the new moon here in Scorpio from a galactic astrology perspective. And I also give you a couple of questions at the end to work with that are tailored to the specific energy at the new moon. So stay with me. And I also have something for you to look out for in this video, and that is a phoenix. So see if you can find the phoenix in this video. The ruler of this new moon is Pluto, and Pluto is representing energy of permanent transformation. So are you feeling it? I'm feeling it. Pluto can also be related to as future energy. And I'm going to talk about Pluto in that sense today, as opposed to the ancient co-ruler of Scorpio, which is Mars. So the past and the future are very much highlighted at this new moon. So stay with me to examine and go on a little adventure here through the 3 themes that I have pulled out for this new moon. Let's dive into this galactic astrology reading for the new moon in Scorpio, and let's take a look at the chart. So here we have the chart for the new moon at 20 degrees and 44 minutes, conjunct Mars at 22 degrees of Scorpio. And opposite there is Uranus at 21 degrees of Taurus. This is a very dynamic action-taking energy, suggesting us that it's time to start taking action on all the insights that Uranus have downloaded to us over a long time here. And I want to highlight that Mars is conjunct the fixed star Beta Centauri at 24 degrees of Scorpio at this new moon. And I want to highlight here also that Uranus have had an opposite alignment to Beta Centauri Hadar for many months. But at this new moon, this alignment has been taken over, so to say, by Mars, who is now conjunct, very much conjunct Beta Centauri Hadar. How I translate this is that all the information, the galactic downloads that we have received over many months from Beta Centauri Hadar via Uranus, we are now invited to start taking action on that information. We have moved into a different phase. And also this highlight of Mars conjunct Beta Centauri Hadar. Hadar is an energy associated with utopian love. I think I've mentioned that before. I want to highlight a couple of things before we go into the 3 themes. And that is first, this. As you can see, royal stars Fomalhaut and royal stars Regulus are involved here, holding the pattern with squares to the new moon and Mars, but also to Uranus. And as you can see here, Saturn opposite Lilith. We talked about that in the previous video of the full moon, but and they haven't moved much since. But now at this new moon, we're coming into squares, and squares are opportunities for growth. And the influence of the royal star Regulus opposite Saturn and the royal star Fomalhaut opposite Lilith is suggesting that we have pristine angelic protection and oversight at this new moon. And I just wanted to highlight that because many of us may not feel like we have protection at this time. Many of us may feel that there's a lot going on, lots of energy in motion on Earth at this time. But this alignment to Regulus and Fomalhaut, held by Saturn and Lilith, respectively, in squares to the new moon and Mars and Uranus, respectively, that indicates and suggests that we have pristine protection, angelic protection at this time. So let's take a look at Pluto here as the ruler of this new moon and see what Pluto's up to. Pluto is at 28 degrees of Capricorn in retrograde, opposite the fixed star Procyon in the constellation of Canis Minor. And this is a major alignment. And by theme 3 in this video, you're going to know why. Pluto's making a sextile to the fixed star Alpha Centauri in the Centaurus constellation at 29 degrees of Scorpio. Alpha Centauri is a expansive feminine energy, very much influenced by divination, but also science. And this is an important alignment, suggesting that the future energies that we are going to go towards are going to be influenced by the combination of divination, spirituality, and science. Pluto is also making a square to the Andromeda galaxy M31, which is also the growth opportunity to start to relate to other galaxies, other bigger perspective than maybe what we're used to. So I also want to highlight the co-ruler of this new moon, which is Mars, conjunct the new moon, opposite Uranus at 21 degrees of Taurus. And Mars at 22 degrees of Scorpio here is conjunct another fixed star from the Centaurus constellation, which is Beta Centauri, also called Hadar, at 24 degrees of Scorpio. And Hadar is often spoken about in terms of energy related to unconditional love, and utopia of love, basically. And that is the reminder that we come from love. Our original state is unconditional love. Now, Mars's highlight and being the ancient co-ruler of Scorpio is making a sextile to the Lyra Ring Nebula M57 at 20 degrees of Capricorn. And we've talked about the Lyra Ring Nebula in previous videos. But what I want to say here is that with regards to past energies, Lyra Ring Nebula is associated with evacuation, abandonment, taking over, very much a warlike energy, which is really exactly what the Lyra Ring Nebula went through, going from a place of love and harmony to a place that was abandoned. And here we have the Centaurus constellation, and I've highlighted both Alpha Centauri and Beta Centauri so that you can get a feel for this energy. And I've included a channeled image here from Crystal Alexis that really represents the utopian love that both Alpha and Beta Centauri is representing. And that is a lead in to theme number 1, which is past fear versus future love. Building on the conjunction between the new moon and Mars, but also Mars and the fixed star Beta Centauri Hadar opposite Uranus, we also have a trine from Uranus to the Lyra Ring Nebula M57. And what does this mean? We're asked here and invited to examine our fear. Where does it come from? Is it from the past? Is it from the future? What is the lesson here in the fear that we may be feeling and coming up that is dug up by Scorpio new moon here? What does it mean for us? Because here, clearly the Mars conjunction now to Beta Centauri Hadar is asking us, are you choosing love or are you choosing fear? And it should also be mentioned that Uranus have been opposite Beta Centauri Hadar for a couple of months now. But at this new moon, that alignment has been taken over by Mars, now in conjunction with Beta Centauri Hadar. So that suggests that we're entering a phase here where we're asked to take a stand, take action in a different way than we have been doing in the past, when Uranus was opposite, highlighting and bringing in the cosmic downloads, alerting us to that Beta Centauri Hadar utopian unconditional love and the choice we have to align with that. But now, when Mars is like right smack in conjunction with Beta Centauri Hadar, it's time to take action. So, are you choosing love, or are you aligning yourself with fear at this time? And the Lyra Ring Nebula and the soul memories that are potentially very open and very highlighted at this time, considering the sextile from Mars to the Lyra Ring Nebula, it means that what have we learned? What part of this is a lesson that we can take with us and now take action on? So, how can you take action from a compassionate, loving place? So I want to show you the Lyra constellation here. And as you can see, the Lyra Ring Nebula M57 is highlighted there, where the location of it is. But also, more importantly, connect with this image of the beautiful eye of energy that is the Lyra Ring Nebula. What does it tell you about your soul memories, perhaps from here, ages ago? So connect with that image and see what comes up for you, especially when it comes to feelings of fear or restriction, limitation, abandonment. This is meant to come up now so that we can bring it to the surface and allow ourselves to feel self-compassion for our past journey, allowing this threshold that we're currently in to be the holding point, the transmutation itself between the past and the future energies that we're moving into quickly next. The second theme I've called Creative Higher Heart Activation. And we start with Mercury here. Mercury is in alignment in an opposition to the fixed star Hyadum I in the Hyades constellation at 6 degrees of Gemini. Hyades is this beautiful energy associated with creativity, very practical creativity and communication, artistry, and the freedom that we feel when we are in the moment, in that creative moment. And that infusion to Mercury here, aligned via Mercury, it's an invitation to build our visions. And in the physical realm here, because it's in the first decan, whatever we are bringing into form, we're invited to use our creativity. Mercury is also making a square to Saturn at 0 degrees of Pisces. And Saturn is in opposition with the royal star Regulus at 0 degrees of Virgo. So here we have the lesson. Here we have the growth opportunity and how we are including a multidimensional perspective and spiritual perspective in our communication, and how we build our vision for what we want to share, what we want to learn. So this is a huge starting point. There's something new starting here with this square that is teasing us, that is helping us to kind of, okay, I need to get out of my comfort zone here. And Mercury is making a beautiful sextile to Venus. Venus is conjunct the Super Galactic Center at 2 degrees of Libra. So here we have an infusion, a download of divine feminine energy just flowing into our solar system. So how do we communicate? Through creativity. Well, it's from the higher heart. The higher heart chakra is located between the heart chakra and the throat. So the creativity here is to allow ourselves to be surrendered at this stage in a state of creativity. How can you speak your truth sourced from the higher heart rather than linear thinking and logic? I want to show you Hyades here and where it's located in the sky. Hyades is a star cluster, which is actually the closest star cluster to Earth. And in my experience, in readings that I've done for many other souls, is that Hyades is sometimes a holding place for souls before their next incarnation on Earth. So here we have the third theme. That I've called Phoenix Rising, Evolution Flying High. And if you recall, we've had both Mercury, Mars, and Venus transiting through Virgo at different times, building this kite formation with Neptune in opposition and Uranus and Pluto on the sides. Now, this chart has 3 minor grand trines, which is what I have highlighted here. It's called a minor grand trine. We actually have 3 of those in the same chart this new moon. And it's actually something really interesting, and I'll walk you through what I see here. In this chart, we have Mercury forming this minor grand trine with Venus and Pluto. Venus conjunct the Super Galactic Center, Mercury opposite Hyades at 6 degrees of Gemini, and Pluto, of course, at 28 degrees of Capricorn, opposite the fixed star Procyon at 26 degrees of Cancer. So here, and in this minor grand trine, Mercury is at the peak, so to say. And here we have the third minor grand trine between Mars conjunct Beta Centauri Hadar, Neptune, and Pluto opposite Procyon. And what does this build? It builds this. It's a Phoenix rising energy, I call it, because we also have a grand water trine in this chart between Mars conjunct Beta Centauri Hadar and Procyon here at 26 degrees of Cancer and Neptune. So, wow, this is a powerful, powerful energy that brings also Canis Minor-Procyon in focus here. And here I'd like to show you Procyon, where it's located in the sky, but most importantly, an opportunity to tune into this beautiful energy of Procyon. Procyon is associated with evolution, but also the practical new ways of using technology based on energy. The humanitarian type of energy is coming with Procyon as well. So, wow, this is in opposition to Pluto, which is representing the ruling energy of the Scorpio new moon and the future energy. So enjoy this, tune in to Procyon, this new moon. Isn't it interesting that the phoenix rising, is the higher expression of the sign of Scorpio? So I find it very interesting that we have this powerful phoenix in our energy at this new moon. And it's time to take flight. It's time to evolve. It's time to let this bird fly. So I invite you to really tune into this energy and maybe even meditate and ask the Procyon energy to connect with you, because many of us have soul memories from Procyon as well that are due to be activated at this time, at this new moon, to help Earth evolve and grow beyond what we have ever thought of being. This association with multidimensional energy is a huge influx of divine feminine energy through the Super Galactic Center and Venus here to this Phoenix rising, an influx of creativity from hiatus. An additional perspective here is that we are experiencing some growing pains. And the reason is that if you look at the North Node and the South Node at 23 degrees of Aries and Libra, respectively, they are in a square with Procyon at 26 degrees of Cancer, and of course Pluto at 28 degrees of Capricorn. So there is this growing pains, I call it, at this time. And yeah, so here we have this kite again, but with wings this time. So enjoy this beautiful, powerful energy to get you activated to fly high at this new moon. Take the Phoenix rising energy and use your creativity, your heart-centered creativity, to envision what's next for you. What is your path of evolution? In summary, we have a powerful Phoenix rising energy at this new moon in Scorpio. The first theme we talked about was the invitation to look at our past energies, activated now by the Lyra Ring Nebula M57. What is it that's coming up in terms of our sense of restriction, limitation, abandonment, perhaps even? And can we bring it up to the surface and see it, embrace it, and letting it go? Because here we're invited at this new moon to have a choice between our past fear or future love. So allow yourself to observe whatever comes up from your past that you need to let go of, transmute and let go of at this time. And the second theme, the creative higher heart activation. It truly is an activation fueled by creativity at this time, inviting us to grow using our higher heart to communicate, speak our truth, and allow that to be our center as we are infused with divine feminine energy from multi-galaxy ports like the Super Galactic Center. And then we have the Phoenix rising, evolution flying high. This kite formation with Procyon, Canis Minor-Procyon at 26 degrees of Cancer is truly an energy for the future. And this kite with wings, bringing in the Phoenix rising, allowing us to consider that as the future energy within us. The humanitarian, using technology based on energy, technology and healing based on energy, allowing that to be the way forward. So I have some questions for you that you are invited to work with. They're tailored to this Phoenix rising energy that we have at this new moon. The first question is, how can you take action with compassion, courage, and love as the foundation? And where in your life do you feel the limitations, the restrictions? Notice where and why. Tune into your heart, to your soul, to ask the question, what am I learning from this past energy that I can take now to transmute and transform it into a future choice based on compassion and love? The second question is, how can you speak your truth, sourced from the higher heart, the heart and the throat, in the harmony, instead of using linear thinking or logic? This shift within ourselves is one of creativity. Ultimately, it's how we use our inner creativity that is going to bring us to that higher expression, higher heart expressions. So this is an invitation to activate that higher heart, speak from love, speak from compassion, speaking your truth. The third question is, how are you taking flight in this life? What is your path of evolution? And sometimes it's not clear. What is my path? How am I taking flight in life? This is a big question, of course. And many of us are wondering now, what is my next step? How can you raise your energy by shifting your perspective on something that you feel restricted on in this life right now? How can you shift your energy around that topic, whatever it may be? And that may help you to take flight. So enjoy this Phoenix rising energy at this new moon in Scorpio. And are you curious about your own galactic alignments? Download my Galactic Alignments reference guide. A link is in the description box below. Thank you so much for being here. I love doing these readings for you. I'll be back soon with another one. Bye.